you look at an ooh, 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 oh, aw, ooh. You'll notice that my lips are kind of rounded and pooched out, right? But they don't pooch out when I say ah, right? So we've got this idea of lip rounding. And so what I would say is everything that's in this very microphone is going to be round. Well, I think Swedish probably has something like that. Okay, but anyway, so we've got how front is the bulk of your tongue? How far in the back? How high? How middle or high, middle or low? Are your lips rounded? Only this column, or spread? All of these. And the last thing is tense and lax, which I think people will find that to be the most difficult to flavor. But sometimes your tongue is very tight, very tense. And there is oftentimes another counterpart sound that's a little bit where you relax your tongue a little bit. We're going to practice this. Okay? So let's take a look at this first column. I'm going to take my mask off. Anybody going to be all set? Too bad. Okay. I've got E. Say that. E. 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 How about this one? What do you suppose that one is? That one is going to, I already told you, one with C and the other one was I. Sit. So this one is going to be E. This is going to be I. E. I. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to repeat those two, one after the other, like this. E, I, E, I, E, I, E, I, E, I. Go ahead. E, I, E, I, E, I, E, I. Think about your tongue. I think you're going to find that your tongue is going tense. E, I, E, I, E, I. That's the difference between tense and lax. Okay? Lax is the one that's going to be in the lower half of the square, like the I, and the tense are going to be at the top. E, E. Now we got the same thing happening down here. We've got A, say that one, A, and E. A, E, A, E, A, E. And as you repeat those, you should see A, E, A, E. And I think if you pay attention, and this is the hard part, paying attention to it is to know that your tongue is now not up at the top. E, I, A, E. And then the last one, A. Right? Now, we're going to do that, all 5 of them. But I want you to think about what is your tongue doing. We're going to go E and then I, A, E, A. Ready? E, I, A, E, A. E, I, A, E, A. Boy. See? Oh, look how skilled I am. All right. E, I, A, E, A. You get to the A, you should feel your tongue is kind of like down at the bottom behind your lower teeth, way down, just sitting down there. A. But in the middle, A and E, it's kind of in the middle. And when it's E and I, it's up towards the front. Now, we've also got these sounds that are in the back. Ooh, 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 ooh. What's a word with ooh in it? What? Nope. Save that one for the next answer. Ooh. I'm sorry. Blue or glue. I didn't know which one you said. I'm old and my hearing's shot. Okay, and then we've got the ooh as in blue or blue, and then we've got the as in foot or look or took, right? We recognize the difference. We know that there's a difference between food and foot, and the difference tends to be largely around that vowel. Well, we got ooh is tense and is here. Ooh, 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 ooh. And then you get down to oh. Ooh, 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 oh, aw, aw, like it's in awful. Okay. Ooh, oh, aw. Now here we've got an A sound, just like the Spanish A. What would you think that sounds like? What is it? Just like Spanish. What does it sound like? What's its name in Spanish? Somebody. Huh? What's its name in Spanish? No. This one. Ah, very good. So is that. So we can go around here. We go E, N, A, N. Nothing. And we can come over here. We got nothing up here in the front, or we'll call it the center part for the moment. But then we've got these two little goovers. You probably, if you've ever looked up a word in the dictionary, you've probably seen that upside down E. What does that sound like? Did you know it's the most common vowel sound in English? Doesn't even have its own letter. Most common sound. You look up a word and it's got an upside down E in the phonetic spelling. That sounds like? Nope. No, that'd be nice. Oh, sorry. It sounds like about. Even though it's spelled with an A, it sounds like about. And it's very, very short, right? It's almost like it's not there. About, abode. Again, even though all of those were spelled with an A. This one is similar sound, it's But the difference between that this is called a wedge, and it's the upside down V. And that is an sound, like the in onion. Onion. You notice how much longer that sound is? Onion. It's their uncle. It's there on purpose. The E, this upside down E, is called a schwa. SCHWA, schwa. And it sounds like very short. How do you spell syringe? S Y. But how come I say stuff? Well, if you're going to find out that it's because it's an unstressed syllable, and when we have unstressed syllables, we often make that vowel the sound. About, abode, again. Anyway, we've covered all of these. All right. So let's see. I want you not to feel bad. But didn't change, but there you go. If we wanted to, we could study all the vowel sounds in all the languages, and we could go through all of this. But being the nice guy that I am, the real but is that we're going to do the short version. Okay. Not too many things to remember. And again, first part of the test will have this on it. Some of these will be empty, some of the spots and some of the rectangles, and there'll be a list of things in here for you to fill in. Half of them will be there. I'm going to tell you up front, the worst thing to do is try to memorize. Try to learn the relationship between. Once you've got those relationships, it's a lot easier to try and memorize. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 14, 20 things. Relationships are easy. Patterns are good. Okay? Hi, Mandy.
Hi.
Never had you in a classroom before.
In a classroom, only on Zoom.
I know, it's always on Zoom. All right, well, it's nice to see you. Now, that's what we've got. Let's take a look at this from this standpoint. Well, I'm going to look at the E sound, okay? Notice that it's in lowercase I and it's in slashes. So we're not talking about anything other than the sound E, as in fee or glean or seek or all of the other things where we get an E sound, equal. We also have this one. And for English speakers, it's very important. I, as in fit. A, as in bait, but as in bet. For us, it's easy, I think, to tell the difference between bait and bet and bat. But it's not always so easy when you're coming at it from a different language. Korean has both of those, and I have a terrible time knowing which one is which when I hear it. I have to see it. Two different ways to deal with it. In this case, it's a purposeful U. Bug. But over here, it's suppose. Hear how that's almost gone? Suppose. It's almost like you put S apostrophe POSE and get away with it, which some people do. But it's suppose. And that is there, but it's very, very short. I'm not all that worried about which one you use most of the time. I just want to make sure you know that there is a difference. As in father. As in Rob. Well, that doesn't count because that's spelled with an O. But it doesn't sound like robe. That's another word. Rob. Loot. Through. Blue or glue. And then we get up here to the other double O, which would be like book, look, took, foot, or put. Notice that doesn't spell with double O's. This one doesn't spell with U's. Though and blow and thought, thought, and caught. Okay. Those are the differences in the sounds. Okay. Now we're going to practice. Give me that one later. You can practice with that one. But here we go. So start looking at this. I've got different words on here this time in a different order, so make it a little more exciting. We'll work our way through. Okay, so let's take a look at these together. Where we're going to put these. So show you this. Show you the towards the front and high when you say E. When you say something like ooh, it's a large part of your tongue is kind of in the back and up to the top. But when you say something like ah, your mouth is wide open, your tongue is just kind of laying down in the bottom going ah. Okay? So, just something to look at. Now, let's take a look at this. Blue, 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 blue. You know this answer. So what is that one? What letter would we, what IPA symbol would we use for blue? Just the regular old U, right? And where would the U go? Well, ooh. It's in the back and it's high in my mouth. Ooh, and it's kind of tense. Ooh. So the U, put a slash, U slash. Oh, great. Cap. Cap. And. No, not we don't say cop. Cap. 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 Which one is it? And how does that get written? It's kind of the A and the E pushed together, right? You'll see the same thing in a dictionary. If you go in and look in the dictionary, it's going to do the same thing. It's got an A and an E right next to each other, kind of connected. That would go where? Got a guess? Yes, ma'am. It's going to go at the bottom here. Here. Very good. It's going to go here because it's a lax sound. There's no rounding of your lips. It's just kind of laying in there with the tip of your tongue against or just beneath your lower teeth. Gabe. Gabe. Arpad, what do you think? A, which is spelled? Huh? Gave. This one is spelled with the letter E, right? Kind of like a Spanish letter E. You call it A, and it's the same sound, A. Okay. Hot. Spelled with an O. Spelled with an O, but what letter are we going to be using? Hot. The A, just the regular A, the one that would go where? Exactly. It's going to go right in here, just laying in the bottom of your mouth, doing nothing. Went to the beach. Okay, here we go again. Ilani, what about took? The double O there, took. What do you think? Okay, that's a good answer. Don't know, but anybody?
Is it like the fancy U?
It's fancy U. I call it an upside down horseshoe. I think it's also an upside down omega. But yes, it's the fancy U. Where does that go?
Round, back, black,
Round,
high,
back,
and then
high, and lax, right? Very good, very good. Okay, good. Beat, beat. Ashley, right? Okay. Huh?
I,
Which I? There's two.
lowercase,
The lowercase I. Very good. Where does that go?
high, front, 10.
Way up here in this front corner, right? It's 10th, it's high, it's front, but there's no rounding. It's just E. Good. Buds. Buds. We're all buds. Buds. What do you think this one is?
The A.
The A? Not quite an A.
The one with the E, right?
Yes, it's the one that's right next to the upside down E. This is the upside down V. Buzz. It's the only vowel in here. It must be there on purpose. Then we get to bread. Not breed, not Brad, but it's bread. Bread. Where do you think that one goes? Everybody's looking down at their shoes. Here I am coming around to wreck your day. Bread. Kind of like A. Sounds kind of like A. It's just a little bit lax, right? A. It's the backwards 3. It goes right in there, right? A backwards 3. Caught. Oh. Not quite the O, but close.
The backwards E.
The backwards, not the backwards E, but the backwards. Huh? The backwards C, right? The backwards C, the one that looks kind of like a C, but backwards, that's aw. Think about it, it's kind of like where your mouth looks like when you go awful. Okay, so that's caught. Flip. letters.
Big I.
Huh?
Big I.
It is the big uppercase I. Now, when we actually get to the point of spelling this and transcribing it, you're going to find that we really need to get it off of the site where we've got the crosses on the top and the bottom, right? The way we were always taught to do an I, but then we stopped doing it. We just put a line like this. If you do this, I can't tell the difference between an I and an L. So it
Capital
is.
I.
It's a capital I with the horizontal lines on it. And then we're down here. Abode. Abode. I'm looking for the A sound in abode. Abode. Oh, I gave you this one, right, didn't I? Sebastian, what did they tell you? Abode. Oh, the upside down E, right? Yes. It's the lowercase e that's upside down called the extra points. Schwa. Not many extra points. They're imaginary extra points, but what can I say? Abode. Notice that it's spelled with an A, but we would transcribe it with that upside down E that sounds like abode. It's not like we're saying abode or abode. How about that one? Easy. Only one left. Huh? Oh, where does the O go? Do you remember?
In the middle. On the right.
In the middle, on the left,
On the right.
on the right. Is it, you think it's tense or lax?
Tense.
Right there it goes. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you another one. This is the one that I showed you before. And we actually went through this with the first set of sounds. However, Diana, did you get one of these when I passed it out the last time? What a dirtbag am I? I'm bringing your very own copy because I left you out the last time. Okay, this is the one that we looked at first. It's going to give you a chance to practice a little bit. As I've told you already, it's going to be on the test, so practice is a good thing. And start looking at the relationships between the sounds. What sounds are kind of similar and where do they go? What's different about them? Perhaps what's different. We're going to talk about being a little bit more formal with the distinctive teachers for listing the mechanisms that we use to get a particular sound. Next week, or actually, I think we'll be talking about it on Thursday a little bit. But some people have already got it down. It's going to be plus 5 plus front plus 10 spread, which would be the. I said high, front, tense, spread. High front. There's only two choices up there. They're kind of similar, E and I. But the one we're looking for is E because it is tense, right? Excellent. Good. Okay. This will get easier as we go along. Just not to worry too much. Okay. So we've done this. And the correct IPA symbols, you'll find it in the PowerPoint. So it's right out there. The one thing I did do here that I should have is what? I should have gone around each one of those letters. Slash. That points it out as being IPA, not spelling. And given that we've got so many of these things that are just like regular spelling, it's important to put those slashes in there. Okay? And what I would suggest with this one, as you practice, try feeling, and it's not going to be as easy for you as it is for me now. But when I first tried it, it was always difficult to do. What's my tongue doing? But try to get it by sounding out the sounds and see if you can help pick out where they should go. Okay? But you know, we did the front. We did E, A, and we did the back. O. We even did the center. Nothing at the top. And okay. We good? Everybody feeling real comfortable with this? Can't wait until the test. You guys are just too laid back. Okay. So with that, show you this. I'm gonna put this up. Well, I'm gonna get done early today. I get to keep you late then, another day. Okay. So don't forget, so you go into D2L and you'll find homework handout, homework assignment handouts. You'll find these in there. Every time we do it, I'll put them in there. You'll have access to the answer keys right after Thursday's class. Yeah. Here's something to think about as we go getting ready to do transcription. One key thing to think about is people always the way we pronounce some of those vowels, or the way we pronounce words using these vowels. And that doesn't make it wrong, right? If you were a person from the South who says, I need a ball pen or a ballpoint pen, when in fact what everybody else thinks you should have a ballpoint pen, well, I have to watch that the test goes along and I have to adjust for that. And I do, as long as it's something reasonable, right? I could say, this will be an example on another sheet, roof and roof. Roof and roof. How do I spell roof regularly? Spelling test, roof. Christina, go ahead. I know you want to. R-O-O-F, exactly. How do you spell roof? How do you spell roof? The guy replaced my roof, right? Or the guy replaced my roof. Same word, just two different ways of saying it, right? Kind of like pen and pin. So it's spelled the same way, R-O-O-F, right? So if you were to go and I was to put roof on the test and you put roof with a U and you put roof with a fancy U, the upside down omega, or the upside down horseshoe, as I usually call it, I have to give you credit for it because depending on where you're from, you may say it that way, right? Wednesday. How do you say Wednesday? That's pretty weird. It's kind of a weird word. Wednesday, is it W-E-N-Z-D-A-Y, Wednesday? Or is it, if you go to Southeast Asia, sometimes you'll run into places where they used to have English colonies, and they'll sometimes call it Wednesday. Kind of weird. But I say it sounds to me like I say W-E-N-D, Wednesday. To me, that's the way it sounds. The point is, as we get in here, we've got these standards that are here. We're going to use them to the extent that we can, but I recognize that different people pronounce things differently, even in Chicago. So, I mean, how many people here are not from Chicago kind of for a long time? Anybody here live someplace better than Chicago? You guys got to get out more. Anyway, even within Chicago, we'll talk different. So you go up north and they say the Bears, and you go down to the south side and they still run into people who still say the Bears. They do it. It's not wrong. They're English speakers just like us. Okay. All right. So let me see, make sure I've covered everything that I want to cover. And if I have, why, I'll just say so long. All right, so long. Anyway, don't forget the homework. The way I deal with homework is you bring it in and I'll come around someday randomly and say, okay, let me see your homework. And I'll either give you a slip that shows that you did the homework, or I won't give you one. And then I'll use that to then put it into the system. We can have homework on Monday. On Thursday. And most days. They're there. Picture of the knowledge of part one. It'll be available to you 7 minutes from now. Yes.
I ordered my book like last week, but it hasn't come in yet. So I can't do the.
Oh, okay, well, why don't you come with me and we'll make a copy of the pages. And you can have-
Okay.
See you later. Have a good day. See you Thursday.